Hey guys, what's up? Back with another video. This time I got a classic pay-per-view review, and this time it is Crown Jewel 2018. First time watching this, my first time watching and reviewing this, so yeah, gonna be fun. Let's get on with this, shall we? Never watched this pay-per-view before, entirety. I've seen bits and clips, I know what happened result-wise, but I've never actually watched it all the way through. So this was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me, let's just put it that way. It wasn't definitely an experience. So let's get this on the way, shall we? So we kicked off the show with the first match in the Best in the World World Cup tournament. We had Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio. This is okay. It was an okay opener. It wasn't too long. It went about 5 minutes, and it wasn't long enough for it to get good or to really have a big opinion of it. It just felt like they were just getting started, and then the match ended. So can't really say too much about it. It was the first round match, so I wasn't expecting like a 20-minute match, but I expected a little bit longer than 5 minutes. But it was what it was. The action was okay, and Rey Mysterio sneaked out the win, and he advances to the next round. So good start there. And then Randy Orton was a pissing sore loser, as he always is, that damn Viper. He attacked Rey Mysterio, and causing Rey Mysterio to be a bit more worn down going into the next round of the World Cup. Then we had the next match. We had Jeff Hardy taking on The Miz in the first round match. Winner faces Rey Mysterio. I would have loved to seen Jeff Hardy win this match and go on to face Rey Mysterio in a first time match, because I've never seen Jeff Hardy take on Rey Mysterio. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as Miz would win here. And it was a basic. I wrote down in my notes, it felt like a TV match. Which isn't, not saying anything bad about it, but not saying anything good. Seeing like it's supposed to be a pay-per-view. It felt like something I'd see on TV. Very average, but it was okay. It was still there. But Miz would pick up the win and move on to the next round, and got really nothing much to say about it. It's just kind of average. Next match, we had Seth freaking Rollins from Monday Night Raw taking on Bobby Lashley in the Raw portion of the World Cup tournament. This was okay. An okay match, and Seth got the win to advance. Not really too much to say. Bobby Lashley worked on Seth's neck a little bit, so Seth was going into the next round with an injured neck. And apart from that, really not much to say, and I was kind of surprised that Seth won with one curb stomp. I thought it was going to take more than one, but he only took one to put down Bobby Lashley. And Seth moves on. So yeah, and as do we move on too. Then the next match, we had Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler in the final portion of the first round. The winner, this was alright. This was a really good match, actually. I actually like this one. This was if I was gonna give you what my favorite match was of the first round, this would be my best match of the first round. Dolph Ziggler and Kurt Angle. They had a really good match. Yeah, it was a really good match, and Kurt Angle lost. I was kind of surprised Kurt Angle lost, because I would have loved to see Kurt Angle versus Seth Rollins in the next round instead of Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins, which we've seen a lot throughout 2018, but unfortunately it had to be heel versus babyface, so Kurt Angle unfortunately had to lose here, and Dolph Ziggler moved on to the semi-finals, and he would meet Seth Rollins in the next round. But apart from that, really good match. Just a bit a shame that we couldn't see Kurt Angle versus Seth Rollins. That would have been a good match, really good match. So that's the first round of the portion of the tournament overdone with. Then we had the next match. We had the New Day trying to get back their tag team titles as they took on the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Bar, who was accompanied to the ringside by The Big Show. I forgot about that partnership of The Bar and The Big Show. I don't know how, but I somehow forgot about it. This was an average match. I've seen better between these two teams. Certainly seen better tag team matches between these two teams. This was okay, but nothing really to go out your way and see. And of course, it had a predictable finish where the Big Show just basically punched Big E, and that's what led to the victory for the Bar. So the Bar retained after the Big Show knocked Big E out. So it was average. Nah, nothing much to see. Anyway, next match we had the semi-finals of the World Cup tournament. We had The Miz taking on Rey Mysterio from the SmackDown side in the final portion of the SmackDown side. This was okay. Actually, I put a nothing match here. Nothing match here really. Just an average. I'm going to say average a lot in this. Because there's a lot of average kind of stuff. Didn't really feel too special. Miz versus Rey Mysterio. We went a little bit longer than the first match. I think it went about 11 minutes. So they got plenty of time, but didn't really feel that special. Like, nothing I'm going to remember tomorrow. And Miz advances to the finals of the tournament. So yeah, it was what it was, and it was what it was. Miz moves on. Then we had Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. This was a good match. This was also in the semi-finals of the to advance to the finals. This was a good match. I've seen better matches between these two in 2018, but it got really good towards the end. Not one of their best matches, but it was a tournament match, so I wasn't expecting like a 5-star clinic. It would have been nice to see Seth Rollins go on all the way to the finals and thingy, but unfortunately it wasn't the case, as Dolph Ziggler would win here, and that we got a Dolph Ziggler versus Miz final for the best, to determine the best in the world. Or did we? Wink, wink. We'll get to that. But yeah, it was a good match. Really got good towards the end, and Dolph advances. So we move on. Then we had the next match. We had the WWE Championship on the line. We have AJ Styles taking on Samoa Joe. This was kind of like a renewal of the rivalry, rehashing the rivalry of Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, as AJ Styles put this rivalry to bed and at Super Showdown in Australia, when he beat Samoa Joe in a no disqualification match. The original plan was it was supposed to be an AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan at this event, but Daniel Bryan didn't want to travel to Saudi Arabia because of this controversy and all that stuff. So, and also he didn't like the experience. He went for the Greatest Royal Rumble in April, and he didn't like the experience, so he decided to not go this time, which is more praise to him. Bobby Lashley was in the tournament also because John Cena was supposed to be in the tournament, but he decided not to go too. So, just the whatever for the Saudi Arabia deal. It is what it is. It's very controversial. Anyway, back to the match. We had AJ Styles against Samoa Joe. So this was kind of rehashing the rivalry. Kind of a predictable winner. Like, I didn't really see Samoa Joe winning this match, but they had a really good match. Like, it was AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I don't really recall the last time these two had a bad match. Like, you put AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in the ring, it's somewhat going to be good to great. So, this was no different. They had a really good match, even if it was on short notice, and they had a very predictable winner. And AJ Styles won out of nowhere with a phenomenal forearm. So pretty cool stuff. And AJ's title reign. I think this was AJ's last title defense before he loses it on SmackDown to Daniel Bryan in the build-up to Survivor Series. So pretty cool stuff. And there you go. AJ Styles retains. Pretty good match. Then we had the next match. We had the vacated Universal Championship on the line. We had Braun Strowman taking on Brock Lesnar. And boy, how did this piss me off. This was a pile of dog shit. Wasn't much of a match. Braun got squashed, basically. He got screwed by Baron Corbin, by the acting general manager of Monday Night Raw, Baron Corbin, who hit him with the belt before the match. Brock hit 5 F5s and pinned him. It wasn't much of a match. It was exactly what you expect it to be with Brock Lesnar around this time. Heat, blah, 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 blah. People didn't want Brock as champion, so they put Brock as champion. Ooh, the heel. Ooh, didn't like this whatsoever. It really soured me on what was, I was kind of, it kind of soured me on what was an average event so far, but I was kind of in high spirits still. But this match really put me in a sour mood. So yeah, I didn't like this match. Brock Lesnar wins the Universal Championship, and we move on to the next match, which was the finals of the World Cup tournament. We had Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz / Shane McMahon, because Miz and Dolph started brawling before the match had got underway. Miz, it spilled his way to the outside, and Miz jumped off the apron and injured his knee. Kayfabe, not in the storyline, not for real. And unfortunately, couldn't continue. And so Shane McMahon, instead of forfeiting the tournament, Shane McMahon was like, I'll step up. I'm not forfeiting anything. I'll step up. And Shane McMahon went in there, and Shane McMahon became the best in the world. He defeated Dolph Ziggler in like 2 minutes, and this was hilarious. This was hilarious shit, man. This was very newsworthy and very hilarious, and I just bizarre booking, but I just thought it was hilarious watching Shane McMahon, Shane McMahon just becoming the best in the world. It just makes me laugh. Even to this day, it just makes me laugh. So yeah, Shane McMahon became the best in the world. He beat Dolph Ziggler, and it was hilarious shit. It was shit, but it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. And so yeah, we move on. And we move on to the main event, which was the Brothers of Destruction versus the Generation X. Whew. This was very unfortunate. I was expecting a train wreck, and it was a little bit of a train wreck, but it was a very unfortunate train wreck. As about 5 or so minutes into the match, Triple H tore his bicep, and all credit to him for continuing the match. I was expecting him to kind of just let Shawn do most of the work after that, but credit to Triple H. He did, he went in there and he continued the match. He could barely use his arm. You could tell something was up because he couldn't use his right arm whatsoever. But which made the pedigree very, very awkward. Some funny moments in the match was when Shawn Michaels punched Kane's mask. He punched Kane so hard that his mask fell off. Which you've never seen in a Kane match, where we've seen Kane without his mask before, but we've never seen Kane get punched out of his mask before, which was very funny. Apart from that, the match was very unfortunate. That Triple H. I'm not gonna say it was. I'll say it was a train wreck, but I wouldn't say it was the worst match ever or anything, because we don't know what the match would have looked like. Because Triple H unfortunately got injured 5 minutes into the match. So I was expecting a lot worse. All credit to them. They were trying to work around Triple H's injury, and it unfortunately made the situation a little bit, weird and bit botchy in places. But I credit Shawn Michaels and all 4 of them for trying to put on a good match after Triple H got injured. But unfortunately, it just wasn't that good. But I'm not going to shit on them. I'm not going to do like a lot of people do. I'm not going Shawn Michaels shouldn't have stayed. He should have stayed retired. Erase that match from history. Blah 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 blah. Yes, it was a bad match. It didn't go the way they wanted it to. But I'm not going to shit on them because it was very unfortunate that Triple H got injured. We don't know what the match would have been like. I was enjoying the first 5 minutes of the match before Triple H got injured, so I can't really say what the match would have looked like if Triple H didn't get injured. So at the end of the day, it's very unfortunate, and there you go. Anyway, DX got the win, so it was what it was. It was just it was a little bit of a train wreck, and I'm probably Shawn Michaels is probably glad that it's over. And yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10 because I thought the show was very average. The tournament matches were very average. The Shane McMahon win was very funny, hilarious, but it did make the tournament matches very very pointless, really. The Braun Strowman Brock Lesnar match pissed me off. AJ and Joe was good, and then this match was very unfortunate. So yeah, a very average event. Is what it is. I'm glad that I've got it out of the way now. I'm glad I got it in the collection. I'm glad I got it in the collection to complete the collection, and I'm glad that I've actually watched it. So there you go, guys. There's my review. I'm gonna give it, as I said, I gave it a 4 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you deserve it. Comment below, tell me what you think of the event and my review. I'm sure that a lot of people will disagree, whatever, but that's just my opinion. And it is what it is. Anyway, that's going to be it now, guys. Have a good one.